With the 2024 track and field summer season now just weeks away, where I'll be targeting both the European Championships and the Paris Olympics, I've decided to go back in time to count down my top 10 fastest races to date in my favourite event, the 200. The list includes races from national championships, the Diamond League, and even the World Championships, with all 10 of my fastest races being done in the last 2 years. I'm reacting to each race, counting down to my fastest 200 ever as my journey to run sub 20 continues. So without further ado, let's get into the list, starting with number 10. Kicking off the list and coming in at number 10, we have a 200 metres on the World Continental Tour in Marseille, just 1 week after the National Championship. So here we are coming off the bend. I'm in lane 8. This is the only race where I only have the footage for the last half of the race. The rest of them I'll have the full race. But I'm finishing pretty strong here, coming through in 2065. I got 4th place in the end, barely missing 3rd place. I was finishing really strong, but I fell asleep coming around the bend, which probably is a good thing that you didn't get to see it. Coming in at number 9, we have a 200 metres in Loughborough, which was only my second race of the season, and at the time, a personal best. So yeah, we're at Loughborough International here. Number 9, let's see how we go. So coming around the bend here, I felt like I had a decent start, but then I felt lane 4 pull up alongside of me, around halfway around the bend, and I knew that I had to put my foot down once again. I felt really nice and tall coming down the home straight though. I didn't panic whatsoever. From about 150, I felt like I had it in the bag. Crossed the line in 20.63, which at the time was a personal best. My PB before this was 20.76 from a few years ago. I was really happy with the home straight, and it was quite a big PB at the time. At number 8, we're back on the exact same track just 2 weeks after my 20.63 personal best, and I'm looking to continue my winning streak. So we have pretty much the same race again. We're back at Loughborough, and I almost run an identical time in a similar race. 2 of the same people from the previous race were in this competition also. I'm coming around the bend. My splits were pretty much exactly the same. I think the wind reading on this might have been slightly more, but again, pretty good race plan. At number 7, we have the first race featuring a national championship. It's the heats of the British Championships in Manchester, and I need a quick time to qualify for the final. Here we are, Manchester. I believe this is the British Champs 2023, yeah. So there I am, drawn lane 1, not ideal at all, but I was making do. Done the best that I can. My focus here was to just really get out hard, drive as much as I can, catch the guy outside me. Felt like I've done a decent job coming around the bend. Obviously it's tight, so it's not the best, and this was the heat, so top 2 to go through automatically to the final. I had to work all the way through to the line, just barely got second in the end, but got the job done. At number 6, we have the first of 2 entries from the World Championships in Eugene. I'm up against Noah Lyles in the fastest semi-final in championship history. So coming in at number 6, we're at the World Championships. This is the semi-final, arguably the biggest race of my life. I've got lane 2, so again, quite a tight lane. But same strategy as before, try and chase the guy outside me. Unfortunately, this time the guy outside me was Dream Richards, and he basically just blasted me around the bend. I struggled in this race a little bit. My race plan didn't go how I wanted it to. It kind of went out of the window, and I just ran. But not a bad run. I mean, it's number 6 on my all-time list, so pretty decent. Moving into the top 5 now, I have a 200 metres in Zagreb, Croatia for the World Continental Tour Gold, and I'm up against another world-class field. Getting into the top 5 now, this was at the World Tour Gold. This was in Croatia, Zagreb. This was the last race of my season in 2022, so I was looking to lay down a pretty decent time. Once again, drawn lane 2. But after I'd ran 20.52 at the World Championships, I had the same lane, so I knew that I could run somewhat fast from that lane. So it was just about trying to execute as best as I can. As the gun goes off, I felt like I actually got a pretty decent start this time. I tried to be a little bit more aggressive around the bend, whilst not burning out too much, tried to be smooth, composed, and then again just opened up down the home straight. Felt like I put the burners on, came down the home straight pretty well, and crossed the line in 20.49, which was pretty good. It was one of my quickest times at the time. Coming in at number 4, we have the 2023 London Diamond League, which saw Noah Lyles run the fastest time in the world. I'm looking to make a strong Diamond League debut in front of 50,000 fans. Top 4, here we are, London Diamond League. That was last summer, 2023. I've drawn lane 1. You've seen a bit of a common theme from these. I'm only just realising that I seem to be in lane 1 and 2 quite a lot. But, you know, here we are. Gun goes off. Again, I feel like I'm driving out well to 30, but especially in this race, with me being in lane 1, I struggled to really open out my stride until I got off the bend. So here, I just had lanes 2 and 3 in my eyesight, and I'm just trying to run as hard as I can, get up nice and tall, and finished really strong once again. But yeah, the lane 1 was tough, but 20.44 is actually the fastest I've ran in lane 1. I've actually never run faster than that in lane 2 as well, so it was a really good run. Probably close to my PB, lane adjusted for lane 5 or 6. Taking a quick break from the list, we do have an honourable mention. This can't make the top 10 due to it being wind assisted, but I definitely think it's worth mentioning. So this one's not actually on my top 10 because it was wind assisted, but this is the final to the 20.61 run that I showed earlier. So in this race, I came off the bend dead last, 8th place, and managed to pull myself all the way back to 2nd. So this was my silver medal from the British Championships. Returning to the list, and now we're counting down the top 3 with the 200 metres in Poland, which was my first race following the World Championships. Now we're in the top 3, so all fast times from here. I'm in lane 5 for once, finally got a decent lane. This was 2022 in Poland. I feel like I attacked the bend really well on this one. Normally I'm a bit more hesitant around the bend, but this time I just hammered it around the bend. I paid for it coming down the home straight because I was running a lot more tight than usual, but still managed to keep myself together. I know what you're thinking. But yeah, it got me 2nd, so it got the job done. Entering the list at number 2, we have my heat from the World Championships in Oregon, and I was ready to throw down a fast time in my senior GB debut.
Second over 200 meters this year, which is a huge improvement.
Top 2 now, so World Championships were back again in Eugene. This is the heats. My 20.52 was from the semi-final in lane 2. In lane 8 this time for the heats, which arguably a much better lane. I was running blind, obviously, but I just knew that I had to try and get out, put myself in the race, you know, do the best that I can do. The first time I've been in such a high pressure environment like this, this was my senior GB debut. So initially I thought I got a decent start there, but the Japanese guy in lane 7 completely destroys me. He's on me by 50, runs straight past, and at this point I'm panicking. I get to 120 and I just think stay tall, step in front of yourself, plant underneath yourself, and just keep going. And I have such a strong finish, and I almost came through for one of the top 3 spots to go through automatically. I came 4th in the race, crossed the line in 20.33, which at the time was my 2nd fastest, and still is my 2nd fastest run ever. This is actually my fastest home straight ever as well. I think I closed in 9.52 from 100 to 200, so I was pretty happy with this. Disappointed at the time because I needed top 3 to go through automatically. I went through as a fastest loser, luckily, but it meant that I drew lane 2 for the semi-final, but nonetheless a really good run.
Fast, but he runs very fast. He's a very powerful athlete. 20.12 in that first round.
And finally, at number 1, we have my PB race from Manchester, the British Championships 2022, which qualified me for the World Champs. Here we are, the PB. Yes, we've got the intro going. This was the British Championships 2022. I've got lane 3, which again, one of the inside lanes, not the best lane actually for a PB, but we made it work. Everything about this run was just really good, really flowy. I felt like I got into my stride nice and quickly, nice and tall throughout the entire run. The bend was actually decent for me. Could have been slightly better, but I think it was a pretty solid bend, set me up well. And then just really stepping down the track here. Form collapsed a little bit the last 10 metres, but we crossed the line in a PB 20.23. This run actually qualified me for the World Championships, which you've seen in the previous run. So yeah, this was a really good day. And that's the fastest I've ever ran. I actually have one more bonus race to show you all, because my 20.23 was not the fastest I've ever ran. So that's not quite actually the fastest I've ever ran. I have ran quicker, but this one was wind assisted. This was actually in the heats to the British Championships 2022, where I ran my PB in the final. Coming around the bend here, again just chasing lane 3, trying to stay in touch, and then just stretched out down the home straight. I knew it was going to be something really fast, but I didn't know how fast. The clock stops at 20.18. I didn't even check the wind, I just went straight off. But yeah, plus 4.1, so as you can see, it's pretty heavily wind assisted. But I knew I was in shape to run really fast in the final after seeing that. So yeah, little bonus race there. Technically that's the quickest I've ever ran, but not wind legal. 20.23 is my legal best. But it gave me the confidence for the final later on that day to go with confidence, run really fast, execute the race that I wanted to run. So yeah, that's technically the fastest I've ever ran. So here's the full list of my top 10 200 meter performances to date. The average of my top 10 works out to be 20.49, and hopefully by the end of this upcoming season I can lower those numbers even further. I'll revisit this list at the end of the summer season, so drop a comment below and let's see who can predict what my top 10 average will be after the upcoming season. With the 2024 summer season fast approaching, I have 700ths to shave from my personal best in order to qualify for the Paris Olympics. I have a lot of work still to do, but I'm ready for the challenge and I'll be documenting the entire process with my ongoing series, The Speed Operation. Please remember to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.